That's at 15 yards, this last stage.
Bottom.
Okay.
There you go. Nice.
TMPers and guests, welcome. You are watching the one and only Nutnfancy project. We are in year 7 at this point. And just to make it official, why don't we do this? Oh, the Pissed Off Owl patch. And then the very limited edition Tactical Doodle Shark patch should do the trick. That will serve as your seal of authenticity that you are in the original Nutnfancy project. And in this video, we're going to talk about the Ruger 2245. Specifically, the light version, which has been out for a while. We have been testing it for a while. And it's time to do a mini updated tabletop review to my original Ruger 2245 video. That was posted way back in September 2010. Speaking of timeline, you might want to go watch that one if you haven't seen it yet, because I will reference some of its information and I won't duplicate it here. Instead, we're going to concentrate specifically on this model and the advantages it offers. So here we go. First, I got to get this out of the way. And you know this is coming. This is, how shall I say, some more unoriginal thinking from Ruger. In fact, it is a direct ripoff of this gun, the Tactical Solutions Pac-Lite. Also reviewed, that was in, I believe, April 2012. The Pac-Lite Rugers was the name of that video, and I talked about everything you might want to know about the Pac-Lite system. Cost, value, performance, reliability, durability, blah, 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 all that stuff. All right, so it is what it is. This gun copies this gun. More specifically, this gun. We know it. It does. The question is it worth your time? Is it worth your money? Or would you go with a Pac-Lite? Well, I'll tell you this right now. This one will save you more money over that one, because Pac-Lite stuff has always been expensive. I said that in the review. So I guess if you're talking in terms of value, the Ruger's going to have it going on. In terms of versatility, what you can get, the colorations, the barrel lengths, different sighting options, you know, accessory rail integration, Pac-Lite, last time I checked, that is Tactical Solutions, has it going on, and it's going to blow the Ruger out of the water. The light version, at least, okay? I love the 2245. Love it, love it, love it. We have several in the project, and it's going to continue to be a go-to training pistol. Here's your POU discussion. Recreational pistol, and that's about it. No home defense. No. It's a great gun. We have been shooting a 2245 since 1992 in the Nutnfancy project. Oh wait, that was way before TMP. In the Nutnfancy family. Here's a picture of Tactical Doodle learning on the very gun you're looking at right now. Dang, that was a long time ago, it seems. And I had this one sent off to be done, as you've seen on camera over the years, by a dude long retired. I hope he's still doing good. I haven't checked in with him for a long time. Chief AJ did this. So it was a modified, I think, KP512 Ruger 2245 Volquartsen trigger, custom installed by him, crowned barrel, jeweled bolt, all these sick mods that he did. There's a jeweled bolt right there. And this gun, by the way, can shoot like this, 15 yards at the bench, and that was in August of 2010. There. Pretty cool, huh? Accurate gun, and I know you guys can shoot better, but I was pretty stoked with it. So, that being said, it's been in the family a long time. I know the 2245 platform very well. As you can see, I've stuck with it all this time. Nothing's changing. The downside to this Mamma Jamma is that it is extremely heavy, and that limits its philosophies of use that you can put it into. For instance, I would never go backpacking with the Chief AJ 2245, or for that matter, any full bull barrel steel 2245. I would with this gun though, the light. I would do it. Yeah, because this sucker weighs 23.5 ounces. It has a 4.4 inch barrel. threaded barrel, mind you. By way of reference, that 6-inch Pac-Lite upper was 25 ounces, so the guns are essentially the same weight. Now, the version that's being sold currently of the Ruger 2245 Lite is model number, if I'm not mistaken, 3903. And it looks similar to this one, but the milling on the barrel is going to be oriented differently. I think it's longitudinal instead of vertical, and that's because the one you're looking at here on the table is actually the distributor exclusive tallow version, which I think is very cool. When it first came out, it was actually gold. You guys remember that, the Ruger 2245 Lite, and some of you watching this video may have that, and I think it looks fine. Probably just a little too flashy for myself, but I think Ruger with that gun was kind of inaugurating one of their revolvers that also came out in a super lightweight version.
Is that on camera?
I think. I don't think the public got it, and they quickly changed it because guys were complaining. You know, you don't want to look like the man with the golden gun out there. The balance on all these super light Rugers, to include the Pac-Lites and in this case Ruger 2245 Lite, is excellent. I mean, it is so feathery in hand. It is perfection. All the ergonomics I discussed in the original video play, especially in the Pac-Lite video, because they're going to be the same. And there are some huge benefits with going with this one. For instance, like all, I shouldn't say all, but current 2245s, they have 1911 grip panels that you can put on, and these are extremely gorgeous, by the way. Dark wood, Ruger logo in it. I just love them. Very cool. If you look in the Pac-Lite Rugers video I did back in 12, I talked to you about this. These are the TT custom hand grips, which at the time were available. I don't know if they are now. They came in rubber and just basic polymer. These are rubber, these are polymer. And I installed them. So it was a project. I had to make sure I did it right. I gunsmith these. The result is a very comfortable grip. They also will take 1911 grip panels. But now it comes from the factory like that. Kind of a big bonus, right? The weight, in some ways, can be, like I've said in lots of other reviews, a bad thing because a lightweight gun is hard to shoot good. Now, back when we did the Armed Serenity series, do you longtime TMPers remember that? Oh, yeah. Double Owls do. I ran this gun, and so did Tactical Doodle. I think he ran it, and this is a gun you can shoot extremely fast and extremely accurately if your fundamentals are good. This one, not so much. It's going to be a lot harder to shoot well with a 23-ounce pistol. Yeah, which will bring us to accuracy, I guess. And I don't have a lot to show you because I've already shown you what the 2245 can do in all the other videos. But here's a couple. Here's 8 yards with a light. We just did that the other day. I was shooting at indoor range. There were 2 failures to extract, by the way, on Super X. And overall, the gun was reliable, but there were jams, like in all 2245s. It just happens. You know, is it better than a Browning? Speaking of which, no. Here's a UDX. I would say the Browning is a little bit more reliable than the 2245. There you go. Data point. From all my shooting, all my thousands of rounds of shooting, that's what I would say. Here we go, rapid fire, 5 yards. We're just running Federal bulk. It was 100% reliable on these strings. That's just me triple tapping or double tapping. You'll see the footage somewhere. This is moving on back, I think, to 10 yards, doing some semi-rapid firing. Here comes myself running Super X, slow fire, 11 yards. This was the best I could do with the gun at that time. Now, if we're talking about accuracy, let's look at the sights on the Lite. They are rather coarse. I like really precise sights on my 22s. And once upon a time, if you go back to the 50s and 60s, all those, like the high standard, man, they had really precise target style sights. And then combat handguns became so prevalent, and so you see sights like this. Incidentally, here's what the Pac-Lites have as an option, that fiber optic front, and even with the rail, got more air. These are a little bit more precise. You can see my modification on this front sight, and that is to paint it fluorescent orange, which I pretty much do with most of the guns. Paint that sucker like that. That makes a huge difference. So, a little bit coarse, fully adjustable in the back, like all 2245s. That was a good thing, because this was not shooting point of aim with this load and several other loads, like the CCI mini mags. Could adjust it. I'd really like to see a fine sight set for this to see what it could do, because I really think most folks with this gun are going to be using it recreationally, maybe as a training pistol. Moving on, this is, speaking of tactical doodle right here, my son. Federal bulk, baby. 7 yards. He's blasting a single hole. Well done, son. Dude. Awesome. And this is 20 yards, me standing with a Ruger 2245. I was very happy with that, actually. Not super impressive, but I know you guys can do a lot better. That's hard, though. 23-ounce pistol. Most guys, and I've said this before in other reviews, that are shooting at 20, 25 yards, their groups are going to be like that. I see it all the time at the ranges. I'm not saying they're awful shooters, but it's really difficult to keep that pistol in the sight picture, you know, tied down. How about firepower? Same like we talked about way back in 2010. 10 rounds, it's standard. The only time I've ever seen it beaten is by the old, outstanding, by the way, Smith & Wesson 422, which once upon a time had a 12-round magazine. Wish those would come back, by the way. Why? Because it's just funner. More rounds is fun, less reloading. But the magazines are fine. There is a quirk, as you guys know, the 2245 has to have a certain angle of presentation for it to be reliable. Sometimes the bullets will just pop up and you'll put them in. They'll either, you know, shed from the magazine and drop loose. We've seen that a lot. Or it will create a jam. So you got to make sure that rim is placed all the way back. And then when you put it in, seat the magazine all the way. Which brings me to this point, and this is just my own philosophy, the way I do a 2245. I will actually mill this frame down. You see the little gap there? That way I can make sure that this magazine seats all the way and there's no interference. As this came, there was actually, you really had to push it in to lock it. So not so awesome, real easy to do. Be very careful, don't mill too much away, and then don't worry if there's a little bit of movement down there. That it will not affect function at all. But you'll be able to, especially if you're doing, you know, like drills and stuff, steel challenge stuff, which is another POU, you'll be able to get in there and get a lock in. Okay, that's accuracy. I would call the accuracy excellent, perhaps not outstanding. Is it due to the sights? Perhaps. Is it due to the stock trigger? Perhaps, which by the way has been removed in this TNP 2245 Lite. That's because I love the freaking Volquartsen triggers. I've always loved them. At the top is a video of me showing you way back when of how to install one and the other modifications you can do while you do that. For instance, you can have the detent removed from the bolt release. So it just, I don't have rounds in here obviously. So you just, once it locks back, you just pull it and it'll release. That's a cool modification, really easy to do. I removed the magazine safety, which is included in this gun, like all 2245s, which I hate. Hate the mag safety, and it makes the field strip and the reassembly even more of a pain in the butt. So I have basically a Volquartsen trigger on here and Mark II internals to include the bushing and I think a hammer, which I got from Brownells. It's kind of a pain in the butt to install. I've done several of them, but it's a pain in the butt, and I've screwed it up. For instance, when I put it back, I had this trigger pin reversed. We took it out and shot it, and I was having all types of problems. I mean, the trigger pin backed out, and there are a lot of jams with it. And I was like, what is going on? The bolt catch was self-actuating, all, I believe, just from that mistake. Took the gun back to the ranch, took it apart, and I was like, oh, freak, I had that backwards. Yes, you can assemble it that way. That being said, this Volquartsen trigger, once you get it dialed in, and it has the over travel stop, which you see here, and an adjustment screw at the top, is amazing. It just shreds the stock 2245 trigger. Totally worth it. For instance, let's pull it right now and just check it. Here comes the electronics trigger scale. I wish I had a stock one on the table. I don't. I think they pull it around 5.5, 6 or something. A lot of take up on it. So 3 pounds, 4. Do one more. Oh my gosh, what a sweet trigger this is. 3 pounds, dudes. 3 pounds? That is amazing. Remember, it's not all about accuracy. It has a lot to do, especially with a lightweight pistol, because a heavy trigger will disrupt your aim. But to me, it's also volume of fire that I can rapid fire so much more quickly if I have a lightweight trigger, like I've said in my AR-15 reviews. Yes, I'm kind of a trigger snob. I admit it. but man, do I love it. And look at the face on that too. It's so smooth. It's not the cheesy aluminum trigger that most 2245s have. Ergonomically speaking, there's nothing else really to talk about other than a quick review. There's your slide release, your safety, which is positive. I said that before. Your mag release is very 1911-ish. The whole grip angle is 1911. Training protocol, in a lot of respects, is 1911. But if that's what you want, there are a lot of great 1911 format 22s out there. I would go with one of those. I've reviewed a couple. Yeah, I would look very carefully at my reviews, and I'll talk about the reliability of those guns, because some aren't that reliable. The 2245 is mostly reliable. Trigger guard's nice and big. It's kind of squared here. I usually put skateboard tape on it. And I really like the tallow version here. The milling of it, the looks, the wood that they did. The distributor exclusive. Talk about the sights already. How about takedown reassembly? Standard 2245, dudes. Which is to say, it's tedious at times. Look at my original video. I do it on camera there. I'm not going to do it here for time. I don't really have a problem with it. I mean, some guys are like, oh my gosh, 2245 sucks. It does suck, but once you've done it a few times and you realize you've got to have this hole lined up, you got to have the bolt pushed in, and then you take this hammer strut out and make sure that it engages and you feel that spring pressure like I talked about, not a big deal. Yeah, if you have the magazine disconnect in it, it's going to complicate things for you. How about accessories and versatility? Dang, I had a cool holster I was going to show you, but I don't have it. Tons. How's that? I mean, the 2245 has been out for a long time. A scope rail is included, I believe, with this gun. I've probably lost the one to this. It is drilled and tapped on the top if you want to run a red dot or a pistol scope, which actually would be another philosophy of use, and that is hunting. Because you're going to have a really lightweight rig, right? Put that scope red dot on there, bang, dude. Now you can reach out, 50 yards if you can stabilize it. Bring a, like a little bipod or tripod with you. Use a tree. That'd be cool. Paint the front sight, I would do that. You can go to Ruger.com and they'll have some other accessories for it to include, I believe, holsters and other stuff. And then the biggest one I recommend, if you live in a free state, and if you don't, so sorry, and that would be the integration of a suppressor, a can. And just by way of reference, why don't we screw on a Silencer Co. Sparrow Hall of Fame suppressor. Hall of Fame. There's lots of great 22 cans out there. There's just one of them. We did run some tests with it, and it was great with it. Reliable, very quiet. Same as we saw with the Pac-Lites. No surprise, right? And that 4.4 inch barrel actually makes for a fairly compact package like that. Now, I can't remember, honestly, if I told you guys in the other videos, that this will open up maybe a different philosophy of use, and that is, how should we say, a very quiet self-defense pistol. Let's say it that way. Yeah, it could. Very quiet. I would really test your ammunition carefully to make sure it's reliable, though, because a can tends to complicate things in a little blowback pistol. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. How about value? Around, I want to say 500-ish. It's going to be in the same ballpark as any quality heirloom style of pistol, I think. The Browning is highly recommended here in TMP. It has been forever. It's such a great alternative. And I think they have lightweight versions running the Trail Light uppers from Tactical Solutions. They have in years past. It would be a great alternative to this gun. I would look into it. Are they threaded like this one? Yeah, I think they are. Brownings rock. And then I've reviewed like the SR22 pistol. That's good. I actually like the full-size format of the 2245 a little bit better. But in our testing, you can check out my review. The SR22 by Ruger did fabulous. It was extremely reliable, extremely accurate. A lot of other 22 options out there. Look at and I'm talking like the SIG 226 22 and other variations like that are mimicking combat pistols. Just depends on what you want. How about durability, reliability, track record? Almost done. Well, this front sight flew off while we were shooting the other day. It came from the factory that way. So, hey, Ruger, there's a new thing. It's called Loctite. Yeah, you might want to do that. But this is a well-built pistol. It does, again, completely copy the Tactical Solutions product, which is to say it's quality. So you have a 4140 steel liner and over a 6000 series aluminum shroud. producing an extremely lightweight gun. I think it'll last your lifetime, probably your children's lifetime. If you don't, send it back to Ruger. They'll fix it. Word of caution though, if you put a Volquartsen trigger in it, you take out the mods like magazine, safety release, they're going to reinstall all that and probably chastise you, or they may just reject the gun altogether, which sucks. Way sucks. We did, like I say, have several jams in this gun during testing. I may show you some in the video. It's just the way it went. Some were caused by that trigger pin thing. I do wish it had this though, the under rail accessory, so you can integrate, I don't know, let's throw a TLR 1 HP on it. How fun would that be? That's something that can reach out a long ways. Oh, might not clear that barrel, so let's go TLR 4. No, better. Very cool. It's a cool gun. I like it. It is highly recommended. It's a great addition to the Ruger stable. It's going to represent, I think, better value overall than this one, unless you already own a 2245 frame and just buy the upper. You'll have to decide. That's a Nutnfancy review. See ya.